Northwest Head of Department Thabo Lekalakala has been released on 5,000 rand bail. Now, he was arrested earlier this morning. He faces charges of fraud, corruption and the contravention of the Public Finance Management Act. For an update, we now cross to our reporter at court, Zinhle Kanyane, who's with the Hawks spokesperson Hangwani Malaudzi. Zinhle, very good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. So we know that this is not the first time that Lekalakala has been arrested with charges of fraud. Talk us through exactly what happened this morning.
Well, the Hawks arrested Mr. Lekalakala in the early hours of the morning on charges of fraud, corruption and 2 counts of contravening the Public Finance Management Act. And he appeared briefly at the Mabatho Magistrate Court, and as you rightfully said, this is not the first time he's facing for fraud charges that were in relation to fraudulent or false qualifications that he had produced for him to be appointed as the HOD. He was then suspended briefly by the then Premier Suprema Humabilo linked because of the contract that he sealed with a company called Medosa, that is a Gupta-linked company, and that contract itself was fraudulent because the processes were not followed properly, and some of the documents, some of the signatures that were done for that contracts were not even done in this country. But just to give us more updates on the details of the severity of this Schedule 5 case, I'm here with the spokesperson of the Hawks, Mr. Malaudzi. Please just give us more details on the arrest that you made today, and what details does this case have?
Well, the details are still going to be ventilated in court, but in short, what transpired is that we have been investigating a case where regulations or processes in terms of the tender processes were not followed. There was a service provider that was preferred, and as such there was also an upfront payment of 30 million that was done, which of course there was no follow-through in terms of following proper procedures. Now, the service level agreement that was also signed was signed in another country. You will recall that there are allegations that we're making that the suspect traveled to India, and thereafter he was going on a fact-finding mission. There were other people that also joined him later on that were paid for by the same company. That is when that service level agreement was then signed. So our investigations, of course, have revealed that it was irregular, and hence the arrest today and the subsequent appearance. We are happy with the outcome. We know that he is a resident of this province, and of course now it's up to the investigating team to make sure that together with the NPA the case is strong.
Are there any other heads that we are going to see rolling, emanating from this arrest that you made in the province?
Of course. There are a lot of cases that we have mentioned. There's a lot of cases that we are looking at. Currently, of course, we cannot give you the details thereof, but the Northwest is one of those provinces that has been a problem, and we are having a team that is looking at it. Not only in the Northwest, countrywide, we have been busy. In fact, you will recall 2 weeks ago we arrested the MP, the former Minister Bongo. There were about 10 people that we also arrested in the Eastern Cape. Just 2 days ago in the Free State, a municipal manager was arrested for the same thing. So there's a lot of work that is being done.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Malaudzi. That was the Hawks spokesperson just giving us details on the arrest. But just to give more insight, a 30 million rand payment was made up front, and that service of mobile clinics going into rural areas and providing health services never took off. Those trucks have never gone to rural areas. So those are all the concerns about this contract and the scandals that this contract is embroiled in. And hence, Mr. Lekalakala, who is still the head of department as we speak, has been released on bail of a 5,000 rand, and he will be returning to this magistrate court on the 12th of February 2020 for the magistrate court to confirm a date for the High Court for this case to be moved to the High Court, because it is a Schedule 5 offence, which is a very serious offence.
Now, Zinhle, we know that Lekalakala's term in office has been marred with controversy ever since, last year, around the same time. We know that he was reinstated, and health department workers protested when he was placed on special leave and then came to resume his duties at work. Where does it place him now? Do we know if he's on special leave, or what's the situation at the moment?
Well, the information that came out of the court is that he is still an employee of the Department of Health, and he is still acting as the HOD of the department. So as it stands, we are not sure if the department will place him again on special leave, or it will just be business as usual. As you rightfully say, there was a public outcry when he was reinstated, because the reason why he was suspended was his links to the contract, but also the fact that he apparently allegedly produced fraudulent qualifications. So then the question of truth and ethics comes into play, because how can the department re-employ him or reinstate him if his qualifications are not accurate? So as it stands, we understand that he is still acting as the HOD of the department, irregardless of the scandals and the controversy that his position in office is creating this big public outcry.
Thank you so much for that update. Of course, we'll continue to check in with you. This is a story that will continue to develop throughout the course of the day.